Look at the beauty of that cabinetry. Isn't that something? Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Marathon Mondays with Mal. Starting right here next to this cabinetry. We're going to be talking about marathon quality today, and one of the reasons why I'm kneeled down here, knelt. Anyway, don't call me Neil because I might be knelt. You ever met someone named Knelt? I haven't. Here's what I want to show you. Look at the grain matching that you see running from the refrigerator through the freezer. Two different cabinets, and you can see there's a little bit of shadows, but that's what I want to talk about today. Look at the attention to detail with this grain, like this grain right here that runs all the way down here and into the next cabinet, because this is a whole separate piece from the top piece. So that is something that I want to talk about this morning on Marathon Mondays. This is something that's very personal to the owner of the coaches. This is the details, and this is why people choose Marathon. This is why owners choose Marathon. The details that the fit and finish and the details that we put into building these coaches is so vast, from plumbing to electrical to so many different aspects. But one of the aspects that kind of gets overlooked, but not by the owners, not by the people that are purchasing the coaches, is something like the attention to detail when it comes to things like cabinetry. And that's what we're going to look at this morning. So let's head out of this coach. This was a very good example. That's why I wanted to start the show here. So if you have any questions, we've got Abigail with us this morning from our marketing team, and she's going to be throwing any questions that might work for today's show at me, or comments. We'll lose a signal, and we might... Oh, that'd be too bad. That would be too bad. Let's actually walk this way and get out of this area. For some reason, Dave, as you well know, this area has beef with our Wi-Fi. Okay. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is when you are preparing somebody for a to learn about a coach, tell us why it's, first of all, why is it important for them to quarantine some time? Quarantine's like the word of the year. I don't know.
Get away from it.
Thank you. Why would you want to spend X amount of time learning about the coach?
Well, here's what I tell most customers when I do a walkthrough with them. When they drive off with the coach, they're on their own.
Yes.
I want them to be confident in using their coach. They need time because we go through a lot of stuff when we do a walkthrough.
Right.
There's a lot of information we go through. And I want them to be confident in their coach and how to use it. And
right.
Something comes up and I show them the numbers for the telephone numbers for emergency numbers and how to get a hold of us if they have questions about their coach. There's just a lot of information there, and you can tell with certain customers when their mind gets full for that time.
Sure.
We need to give them a break and come back and do some more later. It happens a lot.
And I think that you know, I know that you're going to spend in about a week some time with the new owners of this coach, and I think that their plan is to do a couple of days with you, go and use the coach somewhere fairly local, and then come back, and they'll probably have a ton more questions.
They'll have some more questions, maybe find some things that aren't working right, or they want to change maybe.
Sure.
Things happen, so we just want them to be comfortable with their coach.
Yeah, and I think that really sets them up for success. So if you're out there, whether you're going to purchase a pre-owned or a new coach from Marathon, one of the most important things you can do when you make that purchase at the first day one, is set aside adequate time to spend time with Dave, learn the coach, learn the system. And another thing you do, as we've talked about many times on Marathon Mondays, is driver training.
Yeah.
And so that's another important aspect of learning the coach, is that initial comfort, getting comfortable in the cockpit of either an X or an H.
They're pretty kind of drive the same thing, but same way. But a lot of times the wife doesn't drive very much. Sometimes we have rare instances where the wife does majority of the driving.
I've seen a lot of wives that drive more than the men.
They do. But quite often I get asked to teach the wife how to drive and how to handle the coach in an emergency situation. Sure. And like we've done in past episodes, I've got a course around here that I take people through and show them how to handle, get around obstacles and
Sure.
back coach in and do different things. So yeah, there's lots of information they need to go. I try to ask for a minimum of 2 days
Right.
to get through it with them. If they can spend more time, that's great, because we want them to spend the night in the coach and get used to living in it.
Yes.
And be able to use it.
Since we're talking about marathon quality today and attention to detail, over 20 years with marathon, is that correct? You're just
22 years in a couple weeks.
22 years in a couple weeks. Tell me this. If you had to pick one item that really stands out about marathon quality when it comes to our coaches, whether it be pre-owned, 10-year-old coaches or brand new coaches, what really stands out if I put you on the spot with that question?
Well, it's fairly easy. A fit and finish on a marathon coach is really good.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything about our competitors, but our fit and finish, from what I've seen, all the trade-ins we've taken in over the years, our fit and finish, and you can see it, you can go to a service and see a 20, 25, 30-year-old coach.
Yes.
And see how it has stood up over the years.
Yep.
And it's just a testament to marathon how good they hold up.
I think marathon, everybody builds a beautiful coach in our industry. I think marathon does the important things best. That's the way I describe it. Dave,
Okay.
We're going to go see some of that best quality right now.
All right.
Big thanks to Dave Bash. Thanks, man. Have a good day. That's really cool to be able to get Dave Bash with us this morning. And we went a little long, but when we get a chance to grab him, in the summer, he's so busy. Let's talk about quality. Let's talk about what's going on in the center of this building. The center of this building is kind of the heartbeat of this building. It's where all of the guts of the coach are built. The cabinetry, some of the most important aspects of the interior of a coach is the infrastructure, which is going to be the cabinetry. And I want to show you a little bit of detail of those pieces today, because we're working on a lot of coaches at one time, and it comes down to managing the area proper. And laminate takes a lot of time. We're going to go talk about that right now. One thing you can see right here is a lot of pieces for a couple of different coaches that are waiting to be laminated. Marathon's fit and finish starts with good cabinetry, the right woods for the right application. I'm going to say that one more time. The right or correct wood for the proper application. If it needs to be lighter but strong, you've got a wood for that. If it needs to be heavier but strong, we've got a wood for that. Why do we use real wood and then laminate it? Many different reasons. I'm going to give you a couple. Laminating this is going to add structural integrity to this entire piece. Imagine this being wrapped in laminate. It just adds a little bit more structural integrity to this piece of cabinetry. Also, and the number one reason that you would use laminates is because it gives the customer a ton of different options. Think of the different colors, sheens, and overall feel of a laminate. There's so many different options for the customer to choose from, or if it's a designer choice, designed in-house by our in-house designers. There's so many different options. That's another reason to do it. Real wood that's exposed, not laminated, will fade over the years, could expand depending on the climate that it's in. So to give, the chassis is designed to go for decades. You guys already know that. We build the house. We build inside the coach to mirror image the chassis. The chassis goes for decades. The house should do the same. And that's why we do that. Let's go this way. One of the things, oh, I got ahead of you, John, my bad. One of the things I want to show you is in the laminate shop, we have this bank of laminates that are available. And as you can see, 1352, 51, 1344, 1350, 46, 51 again, 1347, almost went to the 19s. So all of these laminates are currently being used on builds in production, down where we just came from. So these laminates, take a look at that's beautiful. This is like a satin finish or a flat finish, and it actually has texture, so it feels like wood grain. Isn't that pretty? Now, one of the most important parts of laminate, one of the most important parts of the structural integrity of the pieces that get laminated is to properly adhese them, or the adhesive that is used and the way that we do it, that's all done over here. It takes time, and you don't want to rush it. There's another reason why we'll get into that in a minute, but if it is applied correctly, it will last for decades. We've seen that in coaches. 30 years ago, we used the proper method, the proper adhesive, and we used the best materials. 30 years ago, we do the same thing today. So you can see a 30-year-old Marathon come into service, and those laminates still look good. I love coming in here because there's so much variety to look at, and you can see what's going on in here. But one thing I want to point out is, in order to get laminates done well, you have to practice. These are practice pieces, you guys. I'm yelling at you, John, like I don't have a microphone here. It's so funny. These are practice pieces. Our cabinetry department practices what they are going to do to get better. That tells a lot. Look at that edge. Pardon the noise, you guys, but this is a production facility. We are manufacturing as we speak. And part of Marathon Mondays is we don't hold up production. We just keep building coaches. That is a beautiful piece. This is not going into a coach. This piece was used to learn, to get better. Techniques come into play. Now, you want to talk about techniques? I was talking with Dale over here. She is laminating a piece over here. We're going to go take a look. She's on break right now, but she was telling me this morning, I was down here prepping for the show this morning, and she was talking about this. This is for Coach 1344, which is an X3 down in production. And one thing that she's doing, and you can see that, is she's grain matching to the lower cabinet. The lower cabinet is already installed in the coach. So what she's going to do is she's going to take this piece right, she had it out here. I think it might be this piece over here. But she's going to take this piece and match the grains with the lower cabinet. That's what this department does. That's why it takes so much time to do what everybody in this department does, and that's the skill. You can't just walk into this department and just do what these people do. It's a form of skill and a form of artwork, in my opinion. Because if you look at what they do in the finished product, like we were looking at that coach when we first started the show, you saw those grains that ran together from the refrigerator down to the freezer. I mean, that literally takes an eye. That literally takes an eye. Here we got a piece right here.
We got a piece right here, number 1, number 2.
Okay, and this is, so you...
Grain match.
So you're great, look at that.
Yeah, see these lines? Yeah, just like that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's like the knot in the wood,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes a specific eye to be able to find the pieces, put them together.
Yep.
Man, I'm so glad you showed me that.
Yeah,
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
John, can you see that on camera? Look at how that piece flows between the two pieces. I'm gonna separate it for a second, and then we'll push it back together and line it up.
Mm-hmm. Just like that.
Look at that.
Wow, that's incredible.
That is incredible.
Yep.
Now that is why it takes so long to laminate pieces, and that's why this department is one of the most important departments when building a coach, because if you rush this, the entire coach will not have the proper fit and finish or the expectation that Marathon owners are gonna have when it comes to building a coach. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why we came down here. I mean, we could wrap it up now. We saw what we needed to see. I don't really think there's anything else that describes it. These gentlemen take their time and their effort and their skill and a lot of artwork to put those together, and that's why marathon coaches are the best. That's why we build the best coach. The fit and finish of a marathon is second to none. That right there is one thing that illustrates that. I love it. Now, before we get out of here, and because we have no rules, who said that? Fraggle Rock? The rules are, there are no rules. We always like quoting Jim Henson. Okay, we're gonna go through this way. If we lose you for a second, John is our new videographer here at Marathon, and he is learning that Mal just kind of runs amok. We're gonna go down this way. Hey, Jeff. One of the things that you'll see when you come to a department like this, in our service department. So now you've got coaches that are on their third owner. Sometimes they're second, they're third, they're fourth, because the chassis is designed to go for decades. Some people come and they remodel a coach. Grain matching also happens down here. What they do is they take the time, they'll have a piece that was built 15 years ago and they need to match it up. Also repairs. Sometimes things need repairs. I see a lot of examples, and we've done a lot of shows where we go into coaches and we look at that grain match. Let's actually walk out this way because I want to end the show. It's break time. It's break time at the mothership. That's right. Wes is letting me know. Rob Angelo, the Heavenly Hands. There's a lot going on here. But one of the things that I want to show you is just how busy the service department is. I mentioned it on last week's show, and I'm going to mention it one more time as I stare into the sun. If you're looking to come into a Marathon service department, Florida, Texas, or Oregon here at the mothership in Coburg, Oregon, make an appointment. Look at how many coaches are in here. Some of these coaches are in here for small repairs. Some of these coaches are in here for massive remodels and reimaginings. Some of them are in here just for typical service. Make an appointment. Call your service manager, whether it be Joe down in Florida, Chris Lewis down in Texas, or Kurt Nelson or Chris Welch here in Coburg. Make an appointment. Set yourself up for success. If you're trying to get your coach in for service, that's the best way to get in and get out so you can stay on the road and enjoy it. Abigail, do we have any thoughts, any questions before we get out of here?
Yeah, we just got a question from Raul Bennett. He says, are you able to change the windshields to a single glass on the older coaches? So,
Gerald Bennett, a good friend of the show. He's been with us probably since we started darn near 4 years ago. So big thanks to him and for this question. What he's asking is if when we remodel a front end, I'm going to show you something because we're out here and because he asked that question. We'll stand about right here so that you can see it all. You see that coach? That coach is over 20 years old. The one with the purple and white on the front. Over here, John, we're over on this one right here. That coach right there, we changed the front end of that coach. So front ends can be altered. You can do new glass, you can do new roof caps. So if you find a coach that is, you know, in that 20 to 25-year-old, yes, you can modernize the look by adding a new roof cap. And you see the roof cap up there? That was built in our fiberglass shop right here. This entire coach was repainted. This is a full remodel. Somebody found a coach that they just loved, but they wanted to change the paint, then they wanted to modernize the exterior. whole new front end. But as far as changing the glass, you can't go one, I'm not sure if he's asking about one whole piece. Because it's a Prevost, you've got that beam that runs down the middle. So it is always going to be a 2-piece glass. So it's a busy Monday. Mondays are always busy at Marathon, and I love it, and that's why we do this show. That's why we bring it to you. Thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out. Big thanks to Abigail from marketing, and of course, John, our new videographer. Be yourself and do good things. Have a good week. Take care of each other, and I'll see you next Monday. Take care, everybody.